Welcome everybody to season 5, episode 38 of Oz Media's Motivate Me 313 podcast. We have another great show for you today. Today's topic is about before the commission, the branding blueprint of every professional needs to hear. So why do we have that specific title? Because our guest for today is Realtor Sina Ayun in the building. So go ahead and give her round of applause. We forgot to mention we have like a live crowd here, Sina, who claps whenever
I
we say
heard
something
that.
great. So shout out to Sina. She's in the building today. Of course, you got my sister T as well, co-hosting back in the building. Unfortunately, it might be her last show of this season. So looking forward to enjoying an episode with her. Of course, you got myself, Omar T, Yusuf T in the back on the ones and twos. We appreciate him as always. But again, great topic today. Today we're going to teach you all about what it means to be branding yourself and how to carry yourself as a professional. I couldn't think of two better people to have on the show whenever this topic came to my mind. So looking forward to this episode. Shout out to Sina for being in the building. A couple months in the works, by the way, but now we can finally get her in the building.
Thank you.
Before we dive into any of that, be sure to follow us on all of our socials. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, and Spotify podcasts, all under Oz Media. You can find all those platforms on our website, ozmedia313.com. Shout out to the sponsors of the show: Juicebox, Holy Bowly, Wingfellas, Chillbox, Melika Kebab, Hanley International Academy, The Family Doc, GE Preparatory Academy, and Royal Kebab. Shout out to our good friends over there at The Family Doc. Shout out to Dr. Ali, who's a great actor, by the way. Like, if you guys know how
that was a good.
you saw how the video was shot. I promise you, we went in there because it was during work hours, got in and got out within like 20 to 30 minutes, and he did such
I know
a
you
great job.
love that. You appreciate it.
Oh, big time, big time. So shout out to Dr. Ali,
Multiple takes.
a great actor, by the way. So
Naturals.
Dr. Ali, all right. So let's get the show rolling. Shout out to the Family Doc. The Family Doc, founded in 2021. The Family Doc Clinic and Urgent Care provides
when I'm
comprehensive
talking,
primary
do I look
and
in there?
urgent care services with
Can
a
I look?
patient-centered approach. Their competitive advantage lies in
Okay.
delivering high quality, flexible care with same-day appointments
Oh,
and walk-in
perfect.
options. So if you twisted your ankle while playing basketball, go to the
Okay.
Family Doc. Your baby has got a cold and you have no
Okay.
scheduled appointment, go to the Family Doc. With 3
I like the
locations in
idea
Dearborn
of
Heights,
talking to one
Hamtramck,
another
and
more than
Allen
directly
Park,
in the camera. But
the
at
Family
the
Doc
end,
team can take care of you
last
anywhere
message or
and
something,
anytime.
tips. Yeah.
So make sure you stop by the Family Doc, where they strive to make healthcare seamless, stress-free, and accessible when patients require it the most.
Okay.
All right, we're officially ready to get the show rolling. And first and foremost, we have to talk with the guest and learn a little bit more about the guest, Sina. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? What do you do? I mean, I know you're a real estate agent. And then maybe even talk about how did real estate find you? What, was it a plan or an accident? But first, tell us a little bit about yourself, Sina.
My name is Sina. I am a mother of 2 beautiful girls, a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. Um, I'm passionate about working with people, helping people. I'm a very bubbly person, so real estate was the perfect career to transition to. It was not a lifelong plan. I've only been doing real estate now for 3 years, and there was just a transitional time in my life that brought me to real estate, and I dove in and I became really good at it, and I realized I really I'm really passionate about helping people find a house. It is the biggest transition in their life. Sometimes they're downgrading, sometimes they're upgrading, and I love being a part of it.
Being really good at it is actually, believe it or not, selling herself short, because in the month of June, she was the top highest ranked seller for her team. So go ahead and give her a round of applause. Shout out to Sina. I was joking with her saying that, she knew that the show was coming up in July. So maybe that was a little extra motivation to get her going. You know what I'm saying? But you're talking to one of the top selling realtors on her team. So shout out to Sina. Definitely. I'm proud of you on that one. So congratulations for that. Ibit, how you been? Could be the last. I mean, I think it is the last episode for you for season 5. So everything else good with you though, Ibit?
It's beautiful. I'm doing summer school. It's a blast. I'm enjoying it.
Enjoying it?
Yeah.
Not a lot of times you talk to teachers, they say they enjoy doing summer school.
It's a lot more, it's less stressful. It's less on our plates. There's no grades. There's no tests. It's just doing activities with the kids and really going back to loving that, teaching without the stress, So,
Some people call it high level babysitting. Is that what you feel like is what it is?
they're middle schoolers, so it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I want to say something.
Oh, here we go.
I really appreciate female real estate agents because, as a female, if you want, first of all, you guys understand that we have certain things that we want and we don't want, right? And then you have that attention to detail,
Mhm.
and you're more patient, and it's very comfortable going with another female, especially like you're looking at a house and stuff like that. So
I actually love that you said that because one of the best transactions or the best transactions that I have are couples. I love working with couples more than single individuals. I just feel like I relate more to the woman, and I've learned early in my career that really it's whatever the woman wants. So
Absolutely.
my conversation is more with the woman than it is with the man. And sometimes, my male clients get mad and they're like, "Oh my God, Sina, it's whatever, my wife wants. You always take her side." And I do. I do. But and then I'm like, "Okay, what do you need?"
yeah, because at the end of the day, like we make it a home.
Of course.
So
Absolutely.
I just want to say that.
that was a little girl power thing going on right
Love
there.
it.
But don't mind that at all. So, like I said, today we're talking about personal brand. We're talking about carrying yourself as a professional, right? So, for those that are at home, I remember when I was pitching this to Sina, she was wondering, and I mentioned that I think everybody, and I think everyone should understand this. You are your brand. I don't care what you're doing in life. The way you carry yourself, I ask sometimes randomly in myself, I think in my head, I think like, if this person started a business, would I support it based off of how they move?
Mhm.
How they carry themselves. If this person was to do something, will you support them in any case? And obviously the answer is yes most of the times, but it's just, I believe that everyone is their own brand. Okay, so how, or let's define it, like, what is a personal brand? Because a lot of people think it's just a logo or an Instagram page. Break it down. I don't know, you want to start off on this one, Cena, if that's okay?
Sure.
All right.
In my opinion, which all these questions that you ask me are my personal opinion based on my experience. A personal brand is what people think and feel when they hear your name.
Mm.
It's not just your logo, it's not your social media page. How many followers does she have? It's when you hear this person's name and what they do, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's actually a good one. Now I wonder now how people feel whenever they say my name or things like that. As you said that, I mean, what do you think is a personal brand?
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback off of what you said. Your brand is your reputation. What do
Absolutely.
you want to be known for? I work with middle school students, so we're doing the 7 habits of a highly effective teen. And I was telling them you have to begin with the end in mind. But with that being said, you have to have a goal, and your goal should be, what do you want people to know you for? At
Right.
the end of the day, do you want them to, if you want them to know that you're a strong, because they're middle schoolers, so I want to be strong. I want to be known
Right.
to be strong. I'm like, so what are you doing every day to have that, reputation?
Right.
Are you doing push-ups every day? Like that's why I ended up calling you yesterday. And some of them are saying that I want to be known as being genuine. Are you trustworthy? Are you being kind to all your friends? Are you keeping secrets, and are you avoiding drama? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's your reputation. Your brand is your reputation. What do you want to be known for at the end of the day? And you have to have things that you do constantly to have that. You can't say, "Oh, I want this certain brand," and you're not doing nothing for it.
Right.
And I think what people cannot underestimate about their personal brand is that everything that you do is like formula into how people view you on your personal brand. So yeah, what you do on social media matters.
Right.
The way you carry yourself as an individual from room to room matters.
Right.
It doesn't ever turn off too. Like, even if you were walking into a place where there's only two people, that stuff still matters, because that's how those two people are going to view you, no matter what, ultimately. And that's part of your personal brand. So my advice would be, and I agree with both of you guys, both said great points. I'm just going to add on by saying that your personal brand doesn't ever turn off. Group chats,
Sure.
believe it or not, even in group chats, when people are not seeing your face but they're seeing the messages that you send, that's all a part of your personal brand. That's how people, like you said, Sina, are going to talk about you when you are not in the room, possibly. How are they mentioning your name, and what are they affiliating you with? All the stuff that you do comes into play. it doesn't really ever turn off. I
Absolutely.
mean, that's
And then I want to bring it back to you, Sina. So, especially with real estate, right? Your personal brand is basically it's your job at the end of the day.
Right.
And then you also have your team's personal brand, and if it aligns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you navigate? I mean, is that something that you align with, like with the team as well?
Right. Otherwise, if I didn't align with my team and their values, I would not be a part of the team.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So I joined this team not knowing anything about them, right? But it ended up fitting perfectly with who I am and who I wanted to be.
Absolutely.
I have a little bit of a corporate background. So for me, being on this team added structure,
Absolutely.
consistency. So I feel like it aligned with who I wanted to be. Now we're all our own person. Each individual on our team is a different person. Not one of us is the same, but we each bring something to the team
I love that.
that makes it a team, right?
So, like, how do you build a brand when somebody is starting from zero? No network, no following, no track record. I'm looking at you, Abby, first. If you want to start off with this one.
Okay, so back in COVID, I started a luxury picnic business, and I don't know nothing about business, but I was bored.
Hey.
And I'm very creative, so it was something that and schools are shut down, so I'm teaching online, and I wanted to get out there. I wanted to do something, so I didn't know nothing about it, but I realized the reason why I ended up having client after client was because every single client I listened to them, I understood them. I gave them my 100% all. I made sure that, whatever, they were, I just took care of them and I was consistent with that. But what I noticed that was really scary was whenever I had somebody else help me, I was worried because I'm like, they're not me and they're not going to treat them the way that I treat them. And this is my baby. But that's when, I had to, that's why I'm not part of, I just can't, I'm not a really good delegator when it comes to that because it's
Sure.
my thing, it's my brand. So what makes someone grow from bottom up is keeping that consistency, listening to what your clientele want, depending whatever the job is, whether it's you're working at a school and it's families and students and you're making them feel comfortable, heard, seen, or whether it's a business where you are giving them a service. So I really think when you're growing your brand, you have to be consistent. You have to show your work, because if you don't show your work and you're not being like, Instagram was huge for me. It was huge. Being the person that was always changing it up. When it comes to styles, your work is everything. So if you put in your 100% and you really deliver, I think that builds your brand too. So consistency, communication, constantly putting in 100% effort, delivering whatever you're delivering to the best of your ability, and just being a person that's understanding. I think that builds your brand. It's like who you are and what you do.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that, Sina?
I agree with Abir. Consistency is probably one of the most important aspects of building your brand. Also, being authentic, being unapologetically yourself. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea when you're building your brand. But what I do know is that if you try to put on a front and be someone that you're not, that's not sustainable long term, right? You're going to be this person that the person that you're working with is going to want you to be, but you can't sustain that. Now, you do have to kind of be a chameleon when you're building a brand. You have to treat people differently. Some people are sensitive, some people are upbeat, some people are a little bit low energy. You have to kind of adapt to that environment.
Absolutely.
But being consistent, being authentic, being yourself is how you're going to build your brand. And your brand is built really through every single interaction that you have over time. You're not just going to start and, oh, everybody's going to know who Sina is, right? Or know who Abir is. You're over time, every interaction is going to build that brand for you.
Credibility.
Credibility,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was gonna go with everything that you guys said as well, but I'm gonna add one more about self-awareness, which is kind of where you were going. I think it's important when you're building your brand, you have to be self-aware. Know what your strengths are. Know what your weaknesses are. I remember our old principal Abir. She admitted to all of us. She was like, "Listen, I know what my strengths are. I know what my weaknesses are. That's why I have my team around me.
Absolutely.
My weaknesses are their strengths. So being very self-aware of the things that about you. Be honest with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You know what you're good at. Continue doing that. Whatever you're not good at, either get better at it or find somebody on the team that can do those things that you're not good at, so that you guys are a well-rounded team. So I think self-awareness is a big part of, with consistency, with adapting to certain environments. All those stuff are important, but also being self-aware. I think that's very important, because you can't lie to yourself for too long. But at a certain point, 2, 3, 4 months, 6 years, 2 years down the line, it's gonna hit you hard, and then you're gonna realize, like, man, you're gonna feel like maybe you should give up on whatever it is that you are doing. But being self-aware, you can immediately attack those holes that you may have. Again, rather if it's you getting better at it, or you finding someone on your that can be a teammate that can help you with those specific issues or whatever it is that's holding you back. So I think being self-aware is also important. Okay.
I want to add one more, because look, after hearing all of you guys, is your first time is not going to be the best. Learning from your mistakes,
Absolutely.
and then just continuing to grow.
All right, Sina. So when you walk into a room, or when somebody walks into Sina's office, or you are doing a home opening, what do they call it again?
Like an open house or a
home
showing.
opening. Yeah, showing. I guess, talk to me. Like, what does carrying yourself as a professional look like? Like,
I want to say something. When I walked in here, I was like, "Oh, she's cute." I was like, "Oh, she's a boss." I swear, I love your outfit. Very cute.
Thank
very
you.
put together.
Thank
Sina
you.
definitely could come
So,
off as intimidating. That's for
She has
sure.
a beautiful image to her, for sure.
Body
An aura.
language.
That means a lot to me. You see what first impressions do?
Well,
Absolutely.
go ahead. That's pretty much what the question is. Your body language, your energy presence, break it down. Like, what advice would you give somebody about, like, how to walk into a room, how you carry yourself as a professional, like when somebody, their initial first, thought of you?
It's hard because first impression is everything. But Abir just made me feel so good because it's the first time I've ever seen her, first time I've ever met her, right? You got to carry yourself with confidence, but not arrogance. Abir could probably see me on the street. She would say, Sina looks confident, right? But when you talk to me, I'm not arrogant. And you have to listen more than you actually speak. And that makes people like, wow, she carries herself with a presence that is professional. People use the boss lady term. She's a boss lady, but she listens to me. I never want my clients or anybody who's interacting with me, even if it's just a friend having a cup of coffee, I always want to meet them at the same level. You have to just allow people to want to interact with you and think that you're a professional also, but make them feel good, right? I think that it's a little intimidating sometimes because they say that first impressions are everything, right? You never get a second first impression. So that first impression is everything. And for me, I think dressing well, smelling good, and making eye contact, listening are all great traits to have when you're carrying yourself as a professional.
Abid, what are your thoughts?
I do want to say, I walked in, she had a firm handshake, she had eye contact. Those are the things that I teach my students.
She sold you a house that she didn't even know.
Listen, I'm like, maybe I want to sell my house.
She
No,
wasn't
no,
even
no.
looking yet.
Maybe I want to sell my house. No. Seriously, like I tell, I teach my kids leadership. So these are the things that we actually have a whole unit on eye contact and just giving a firm handshake.
I love
and
it.
when I tell you, like, they're giggling and laughing, like, it's so awkward to them. It's so foreign,
I love it.
So these are the things that 100% they make a big difference and a big deal. But I really believe you. Either earlier when you were talking about the chameleon, I used to think that it took away from like who I was, but no, it's actually someone who's very empathetic and someone who can literally get along with anyone, and it's a beautiful trait to have. Trait to have. So I tell my students all the time, like, you have to really try to listen more than you speak. As kids, like, they want to talk, they want to share, they want to, they're before you're even done, the hands are already up, and it's like, wait, listen to everything first.
Right.
So I know I keep going back to my students, but
I love it. You're passionate
because she
about
teaches
it.
leadership in the class. That's an important thing too.
Believe me, that was like that transition to me reignited my love for education, because there was a time where I was like, I don't know if this is for me. But anyways, long story short, your first impression, for whether it's a job, it's a family that you're meeting, a new friend, you have to basically in that short period of time make them understand that you're humble, you're kind, you care, and but at the same time is you know who you are, and you keep those values as well. And I also believe that, like today when I was thinking about what I was going to wear, I was like, it's about personal brand. Growing up, I had a struggle with being identified as Yemeni. I'm not gonna lie, like, I wanted to fit in,
Yeah.
but also no, I'm gonna wear my Yemeni scarf because now I'm proud of who I am, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm just like, this is part of my identity.
As you should be.
Loving who you are, loving the person that you are, and working on yourself. That's also your personal identity. So, and then also respecting people's time. And I am so sorry I was a little late today.
That's okay.
But that's one of my biggest things too, is respecting people's time too for your first impression.
You showed up. You look great. You made a great first impression.
Thank you. See, I love her.
She's working
love
right now.
it.
Tell her, hey, there's clients gonna be calling us right after the show gets posted. All right.
Listen, no, it's especially being female. I feel like we have it a little bit
Harder.
Yes,
We do.
especially with the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
They already you come in and they're already looking at you like not just not the same level,
Right.
and we have to prove ourselves a little bit more and know a little bit more and work a little bit harder. I don't know. I think it's a personal opinion, but
I think I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sina.
No, I just wanted to say something about when you like you were saying, like walking into a room, right? You wanted to be yourself, and it's so important to be yourself, but you also have to feel like when you walk in, you're not too like intimidating, right?
Mhm.
Or somebody might be like, "Oh, she's standoffish." No, we don't get that second chance. I wish we could walk into a room and be like, hey, this is me, right? But you walk into a room often with silence. So, in a world filled with vanity, what you see is what stands out to people.
absolutely.
So, piggybacking, first of all, confidence and arrogance, I think is a great one. I think everyone should. I even tell sometimes you got to fake the confidence if it's not there. At least fake it till you make it, kind of thing. Where
Confidence and not being arrogant, right?
Right.
Yeah. I just wanna
I'm
make sure.
sorry. Yeah, the fine line. of
Yeah,
I
both
know
is
what
I
you
meant
meant,
to
but
say. Yeah.
confident but not arrogant.
Yes, confident but not arrogant. Because confidence, people can see it, people can feel it, and so I think that's why it's important to be confident in any situation, because that's how you get things done. And when you're not confident, nobody wants to work with you, nobody wants to be around you. But the one I want to focus on that it's mentioned here, and I know y'all touched on it, is energy. I am a big positive energy person. People gravitate to people who are positive energy people.
Absolutely.
Negative energy people suck the air out of the room. I hate being around those kind of people.
I couldn't agree more.
So to me,
Absolutely.
I think that's an important one too. When we're talking about carrying yourself as a professional, I think you should always have a smile on your face. You should always stay positive in every circumstance. There are so many opportunities that now with social media, you can get blasted on social media and you didn't even know that you were going to be on the video, and next thing you know, it's scary. It really is. So that's why you almost everywhere you go, especially the more you put yourself out there and your face is out there, you really have to be careful of how you carry yourself, how you interact with others. It could be you at a coffee shop and you're mad that the order is wrong and you had a bad day and you snap, and next thing you know, you're viral on social media because this person went off on social media. So long story short is energy. To me, positive energy 24/7. I know sometimes it's kind of hard to do with all the stuff that's happening in the world, but it's a mindset. It's a mindset that you should always carry with yourself, I think, wherever you go. So that's my personal opinion on that one. Believe it or not, we're going to go ahead and run an ad right quick just so we can get another break. So we're going to go ahead and give a shout out to our good friends over there at Holy Bowly. If you're ever looking for a bowl, Sina, they do not miss. So shout out to our good friends over there at Holy Bowly.
You gotta check it
Holy
out.
moly, you have to try out Holy Bowly. Holy Bowly is your go-to destination for vibrant bowls and delicious sandwiches. Everything they serve is 100% fresh, and they have halal options as well. Their mouth-watering bowls are always packed to the top, so you know you're getting the most bang for your buck. They currently have 2 locations in Detroit, and you can check out all their food on their website at www.myholybowly.com. All right, we are officially back. So, going off of that, this is somewhat similar, but I know y'all talked about how the way you carry yourself, the way you dress, the way you take care of yourself is important, and even the way you speak. So, how much of branding and even carrying yourself as a professional is like surface level versus substance? Like where's the line? Like for those that may not understand, surface level is like basically right when you meet somebody,
Mhm.
before you even introduce yourself, you see somebody, and then substance is when you actually get to know somebody, you have that conversation with them. So how much of branding is surface level versus substance? How would you balance that one, Sina?
Um, honestly, I think it's a good 60-40.
60 going where?
60 going to your appearance,
Okay.
40 going to substance. Your appearance is going to get people's attention. Your What's going to keep it is the substance.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with this type of era that we're living in,
True.
everybody cares about what you look like before the substance. But for some people, it might be different. It might be 60 going to substance, 40 going to the way you look. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We hear that all the time, right?
Yeah.
You look at someone, you think they're pretty, they open their mouth, they can't even give a little bit of value, right?
Absolutely.
But and then sometimes someone's just average, and then they talk to you and you're like, I never want this conversation to end,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah. I love that.
You
I
know,
love that.
I'm gonna
60 40. I'm going to start using that one.
60-40.
I'm gonna piggyback off you. So appearance opens the door.
Mhm.
Character keeps you in the room.
Absolutely.
So I seen this one study. I think I mentioned it before on an earlier podcast, and there was like a billionaire talking, and how he was like he would only go into business with someone that was fit because that showed discipline, that showed consistency, that shows someone that's going to show up for themselves, so they're going to show up for you. So 100%. I really truly believe that, and that's something that I struggle with as well. Like I forget to fill my own cup. So. But this is my year. This is my
It is your year.
I'm filling my cup. I'm doing 75 hard right now because it's true.
I
It's
love that.
100% true because 60-40. It's sad to say, but we're in this era.
We're humans. We're vain. We love someone that looks good and dresses nice.
And
We want to work with people that look good.
absolutely. And let's be real, you feel good
Absolutely.
when you look good.
Mhm.
So having that energy, having that positive personality, that positive mindset, it's contagious. It's like a coffee bean, right? You want to be like a coffee bean. You want to be able to go into a room and transform the room.
Right.
You don't want to go into a room and then bring it down, because our energy is our brand, and our brand is who we are. So 100%, I agree. And
You like my 60-40?
yeah, because
Yeah.
if you don't have the door open, you can't go in.
Yeah, that's true.
So you got
What's going to keep them?
I already know the clip right now. I already know Yusuf is in the back working on Cena's 60-40 method, all right? So get ready for that one. No, but I agree. Like, let's be honest right now. The way you carry yourself, people won't even come and talk to you.
Yeah.
Unless they see that there's a potential there of they might run into someone who's a professional or good at what they do,
Right.
just based off how you look. If I walked into situations with hoodies and sweatpants, no one would want to come in there, and it's a professional environment. Nobody's going to talk to you.
Right.
Let's be honest. But you're looking like a professional. You're carrying yourself as a professional. That's when the conversation begins, and then that's when the substance then begins. Once you hold those conversations, what I also find interesting though is the people who are so well off. They tend to like sometimes not to worry about the surface level because they know the substance speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
I
I
Yeah.
love people like that. though.
Yeah, I mean, but there's levels to it, right? You can't just do that as you're getting started. I'm sorry, that does not work. But
Yeah.
those people who get to that point, I'm just mentioning this just to mention it.
With caution.
Yeah, with caution, big caution.
Yes.
Right now, there should be like yellow tape going on. What I'm saying. So that's all I'm saying is that that's the part where you maybe eventually want to get to, is that point. But my point is, as you're building yourself, you have to present yourself in a professional manner, dress appropriately, take care of yourself. The way you speak, the way you act, all that matters. And then once you get into the substance part, those conversations that you're holding is important too. So 60-40 is definitely, I think, the best answer right there. So
Love it.
biggest mistakes. All right. I think it's important to talk about because some people are going to be watching this and they're going to say, okay, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
So, what are some of the biggest mistakes you think people make when they're trying to build a professional image? What do you think, Sina?
I think the biggest mistake people make is being someone that they're not. I think everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you just shouldn't. Just stop. Just be you. Like I was saying, going back to that first question, it's not sustainable. Don't be someone that you're not. You cannot keep that long term. Just be you. And who wants to work with you is people who are like minded. And if they don't want to work with you, guess what? You probably don't want to work with them because they are not like you. So I think one of the biggest mistakes is just being someone that you're not.
I love that. I do.
That and it kind of piggybacks off of it too is copying off of other people.
Right?
You know,
Not being authentic.
yeah, not being authentic. You know what you're good at. You know, if you keep trying to see someone else and trying to imitate and mimic what they're doing, it's not who you are. So it's not sustainable. So it won't be consistent. And remember, we talked about earlier, we have to be consistent. But I think the biggest one too is just not being honest and being dirty
Mm-hmm.
and like not being fair to a certain, like taking an advantage of
Certain people.
certain people. Yeah, I
Right.
think that to me that's like the worst thing you can do. Like, oh, they're not gonna know, or they don't know, or and if it's like a different client that might know more, like you're more on your dotting your I's and crossing your T's. But if it's a client that's like, kind of oblivious, so you're not working as hard, I feel like you should treat every client with the same respect because they are the best advertisement for you. 'Cause they can
Right.
go back and tell their friends and tell their friends, and so and that's how you can get more success.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a amana, so it's like a trust. Like
Yes.
you don't want to do anybody wrong because it's wrong.
I believe in karma.
Absolutely.
My one is the way you speak. I think matters. The way you carry yourself matters. Like when you're talking about professional image, right? You know how some people you'll be like, okay, if they're talking about this person to you, they must be doing the same thing with others. Kind of going off what you guys are saying about being honest and being truthful. And I just think that's like taking a day off. And I know this might be crazy to say, but like you really can't when it comes to your professional image, unfortunately, especially when you're out there. Like I don't I just people who just think that like they can just go a week and just go off the rails for a week and then they'll come back and think that everything is normal. That's not how it works, unfortunately. Unfortunately, people are going to remember you by who you are, you know, 7 days a week, 24 hours in a day. So you really don't ever take a day off. I'm not trying to say that you're working 24/7, but your professional image never turns off, you know? So people just need to understand that no matter what you're doing, you're carrying yourself as a professional 24/7, especially when you're in public or if you're posting or if you're doing something of that nature. Your brand and your image is always being looked at. So don't ever think that like, okay, I can go and do this or do that and nobody's gonna care when that's not true. You may have lost a client by doing that, depending on what job you're doing. You may have lost a business partner. You may have lost customers. So be careful and be aware that the professional image part of you or the branding part of you, I don't think that ever turns off, especially when you're in the public. I think
Right.
that's what it is. Even when you're talking to people, like I said, like it could be your friends and you're kind of talking about somebody that's not even in the room. That turns people off, to
You're
me.
walking advertisement.
Yeah. Yeah. So just know that that doesn't ever turn off, especially when it comes to the public.
And it's okay to have personality. Don't feel like what he's saying, like, oh, I have to make sure that I'm perfect
Not at all.
24/7.
No.
It's like have your personality, be authentic, be who you are at work and outside of work, but just make sure that you're just not doing anybody dirty.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Thank you for the quick recap. I really appreciate that. So in this area, what's the landscape of like for professionals branding or building a brand here? Like what makes this area's market different? Even if it is not different than maybe other areas. When I say this area, you're talking about Dearborn Heights, the Metro Detroit, Hamtramck areas. These areas right here where, we're around a lot of our days. Like what what makes this market of branding different if you do think it's different? I mean, any one of you guys can start on this one if you want to.
Yeah, you wanna go?
Start.
Go ahead, Javier.
Okay. I think listen, I love it here. When I open up my business, my favorite clients or the most clients came from people from Dearborn Heights. We support one another. I feel like we do a lot. you know, there's that trust of, you know, because there's a lot of fear of God, you know,
Mhm.
so the religion is there, and people always want to see other people doing great, in my experience. And I feel like there's a lot of support. Like if you have a question, there's always someone that's there to help you, mentor you, and you see people like you in different fields. So there's like, I don't know, that positive energy. That's
Yeah. I think the most unique thing about like building a brand in this area is it's a relationship driven market.
absolutely.
So you know someone that knows my brother or knows my dad, or I've worked with this person, and they know my cousin. So building a brand around here, I feel like we're actually blessed because everyone knows everyone. And it's funny, like I met somebody yesterday from the city, and she called it a bubble, but she said, I love this bubble. And she's right. It has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
But one thing about building yourself in this community is people are so supportive,
Absolutely.
very supportive. If you need donations for a GoFundMe, guess what? This city's about to raise $30,000 in one day.
Absolutely.
They really do. So we are so lucky and blessed to be a part of a community that is so giving.
I agree. I agree, and I do love this bubble too. This bubble, a lot. Seriously, the support. We focus a lot of times on the negative stuff too much because it's easier to
We
talk about.
do.
It's easier to talk about. You know, it's easier. It's headlines. You know, it's
Hmm.
people just love the gossip part of things. But realistically, when it comes push comes to shove, every single thing that we've done, I always tell people like there would be no Oz Media without the support of these people right here, these
Right.
businesses. The support of people coming on the show and the support of my family that's here, you know, doing the things that they're doing to help this get to where it needs to be. When push comes to shove, especially when our backs are against the wall, like you said, if you need to GoFundMe, somebody's family is struggling, people will donate, people will give back, people will do whatever it takes to help you and support you. So I think that should be highlighted more, and I think that's what makes this place area easier to brand because we relate to a lot of the people that are from around here too. It's just so much
Right.
easier.
Absolutely.
You know, imagine growing up in a city that where there's not Arabic or whatever it may be. It'll be a lot harder because you have to sell yourself in a way, and people are not gonna buy
Yeah.
because they don't
That
know who
trust
you are.
isn't there.
Yeah, the trust is not there. So it's a lot easier for people like us to brand in this area because there's a lot of people who are living the same lifestyle,
Right.
and they know what each of us are going through.
You know, it's crazy what you said. It's absolutely right. Anytime I meet someone, they're like, "Oh, what school did you go to?" Or "What do you? Oh, your last name." Like we're always trying to figure out
Everybody knows them.
we're always trying to figure out how to. I know you somehow, so like let's figure out where the web
You
connects.
might even be cousins. Who
I'm
knows?
telling you,
Right.
every single time it's like, oh, it's just our conversation starter too.
Absolutely, it is.
Definitely, it's a thing.
Yeah,
over
no,
here.
for sure. So I mean, I guess that's it definitely helps in that case. So believe it or not, it's a great time to run our last ad because we are already running into the last couple questions of the show. So let's go ahead and give a shout out to our good friends over there at Chillbox, Yusuf, and then we are going to go into the last part of the show. So shout out to Chillbox. Chillbox. Chillbox Convenience Stores, a proud family owned business, has established a strong presence throughout Southeast Michigan. Chillbox branded gas partners are Valero, Shell, BP, Amoco, and Sunoco gas stations. Their mission is simple: to deliver fast, friendly, and convenient service to their valued customers. With a wide range of snacks, refreshing beverages, and food options, all offered at competitive prices, they aim to satisfy every craving with a smile. With 40 locations and more coming soon all across Southeast Michigan, their commitment extends beyond providing convenience. They strive to be a reliable and trustworthy resource for their local communities. So be sure to go chill at Chillbox. I agree. All right. So a lot of this stuff is going to be dealing with these next couple questions with like how you were raised and growing up, your background, your culture, and all that stuff. So now let's talk about. We talked about the area, but now let's talk about someone. How does your personal background shape you into who you are and how you brand yourself? Just how you were raised and all that above. So how does your personal background shape the way you brand yourself, Sina?
My personal background, it's taught me resilience, hard work, and the importance of building real relationships, not just good relationships or relationships in general, but real relationships. It's allowed me to take those values and um, serve my clients with those. So for me, like resilience, I don't care what you've been through, get up because nobody's going to get you up.
Mhm.
Hard work, no one's going to do it for you. You might be tired. Take a nap. Let's go. We got to keep moving. So, all of the things that I've been through without getting personal have taught me to just show up and show up for me and show up for my clients too.
I love that. Love that. Abby, what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Life lessons are definitely part of what shape who you are. What you go through, how you handle it, how you get out of it. Absolutely. You know, your friends that you hang out with, um, the struggles that you go through, all of that plays a part into the person that you become. And I really think that for me, I know you said resilience. For me, it's discipline.
Yes.
Being disciplined, like my life has taught me that being disciplined is number one, because if you can't control your time, if you can't control what you do, if you can't control what you consume, if you can't control who you're around, I it's a downfall.
But
So
without resilience, you wouldn't have discipline.
absolutely, they go hand in hand.
They do.
Definitely go hand in hand. And I really do believe that in life you go through certain things for a reason. It's a lesson or a blessing at the end of the day. So 100%.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, the way that you were brought up on and the life lessons shaped you into how you brand yourself too. I can see that. I mean, like, just, from the outsider's perspective, you almost kind of see like how your life trajectory is going based off of what happened in the past for everybody,
Absolutely.
for everyone.
For you have to show up, because like you said, no one's gonna be there holding your hand through everything. And at the end of the day, if you want a certain lifestyle, if you want good for yourself, you
gotta
just have to
show
work hard. You got to work hard and do what you got to do.
And I think that's important for people at home, for especially those that are maybe going through a very tough struggle right now, right? Um, these ladies are perfect examples of anything that you may have gone through. They used it for their advantage
Mhm.
because it made you into who you are, and that's how your brand is kind of showing.
Yeah.
The confidence, right? The way that you want to carry yourself whenever someone walks into the room. All the stuff that has happened maybe in the past is what led you to this point of your life. So don't ever think that like it's over for you and that you have to start from scratch. That's not the case. Whatever it is that you went through, whatever personal trauma may have been, just know that you can use that to your advantage once you eventually get up and get over it and stop feeling sorry for yourself. I promise you that there is that turn that you can make. That every individual who's successful, they all have a similar story. Like, somebody,
Absolutely.
ask any or every successful person, there's always a moment or two or three that happened in their life that got them to where they are today. And a lot of the times it was failures or life lessons that had to get them to where they are at today. So that is both of you guys, great answers. I think those are great points. And I think that once you realize that, it can be part of your brand in a good way, in a great way, to be honest with you. It builds you who you are. It makes you who you are. So
For sure. Those struggles shape you. I love we all see Top Dog Law, right?
yeah,
And we all see the we hear it on the radio, Top Dog Law.
yeah.
But does anybody know his story?
I don't even know how he looks, to be honest with you. I just know a lot of the advertisements.
Yeah.
that they do.
You've probably seen him on a billboard,
Yeah.
right? He was an alcoholic,
Wow.
in his bed or on drugs. He had to pick himself up and go to law school and become something, right? I like to use him as an example because probably just like I don't even know the timeline of it, but he was probably in one of the biggest ruts of his life. Like and look who he is. We hear him everywhere. I
Yes.
was in Tennessee and I heard Top Dog Law on the radio. I'm like, what's this guy doing in Tennessee? Right?
Wow.
Funny. Did you ever meet him?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah. Interesting.
Only on the billboard.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
Very
got to
funny.
reach rock bottom to see your potential,
hmm
and then slowly but surely step by step, day by day, just choosing yourself, choosing the person that you want to be, and being consistent with those habits.
Right.
It's the only way.
So let's go back to like now the culture and community aspect of it. Do you guys feel like that being from a specific culture or community help or hurt when you're building a professional brand? And then how do you leverage it? So like, obviously being Arab, being whatever, Muslim, being Yemeni, being Lebanese, right?
Hmm.
And so like, do you feel like that all that does that help you or does it hurt you in a way in certain rooms? And I guess how do y'all leverage it?
Can I go first with this one?
Yeah, of course.
I think it helps. Listen, our culture is big on respect. Our culture is big on hospitality. Our culture is big on making sure that we're honest. We have this family feel in everything that we do. We want everybody to feel comfortable. We want everybody to feel like they're the one that's, when we have a guest, we don't know what to do. Like where you go above and beyond, and that kind of goes into our work ethic too. We're hardworking. We don't take things for granted. We have people back home that are struggling, so we are more grateful. I feel like our culture makes us want to give back. Like charity is a big deal to us. It's hand in hand with making money. So half of why we want to make money so we can give back. So I think it plays a huge part. But obviously, there's also, you know, culturally some downsides. So when it comes to like gender roles and all the other stuff, but I don't want to get too negative. But yeah, I feel like it definitely plays a part, and it goes into who we are and how we brand ourselves and how we put into work.
What you think, Sina?
I agree with her. I think it's a positive thing. I think if you look at the strong aspects of it, like the support and everything, it could be a very positive thing. And you're able to relate more with people because everybody from our community, not everybody, but majority of our community is Arab, right? So you're able to relate more to these people, but it's also very important because we do live in this bubble to not forget that not everybody relates to us. So you got to be able to be relatable to everyone that you interact with. People meet me, they don't know that I'm Lebanese. They would never guess that I'm Arab, right?
Did I just put you on the spot right there, Sina?
You did just put me
I'm
on
sorry.
the spot, right? No, but that like, so how would like maybe an Arabic person might meet me and they're like, how am I going to work with her? She doesn't even speak Arabic.
Mm-hmm.
Then I bust out. I'm fluent,
Right?
right? My mom only speaks Arabic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm fluent in Arabic. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm shocked. I thought you were Italian. I thought you were Greek.
Yeah.
But I think, having the culture that we have really does help us. Back to that supporting aspect, right? You need someone to support you. This community is going to support you.
I definitely think our culture is our brand.
Mhm.
It's a strong part of our brand. Like she said, the way we carry ourselves. You can go to a car dealership,
Right.
and the dealer is going to make you feel like that you've been family for like 20 years now.
100%.
You could walk into a restaurant and you'll feel like that you are part owner of the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just think that is who we are. That's just what it is, and it works because people love that kind of environment.
Right.
People love being around people where they're making you feel like you are them, your family, like you're close and you're at home or whatever it may be. So, I think our culture is a huge part of our brand, and once you realize it, you can use it to your advantage. And it's just what it is. A lot of people outsiders who don't know us will like to think that and then maybe use it in a negative light, but people that know who we are, they love working with us because of how we carry ourselves and how we treat others, and they understand that that's what it is.
I want to add on. I make it a habit for me to talk to people that are not Arab, like on purpose, like just to start a conversation, because I want them to understand that we're very similar. Like
Right.
I watch sports. I can give some information to this topic. Like I'll start small talk just because I just want them to feel comfortable, because they have their own biases and their own ideas of and opinions of who certain people are. But like I definitely make it a habit of, if I'm at a doctor's office and I see I'll start talking to them. If just the other day we were at the river walk for a field trip. We were going on a ferry ride like on the Detroit River, and there was a group of older people that they were just looking at us like, what the heck? Because our kids are kind of wild too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hope you guys enjoy the boat. It was really, and then like it breaks down that
That
already,
barrier.
yes. And I really think that growing up in Hamtramck when we did, not right now, it's not as diverse right now, but when we were growing up, Hamtramck was very diverse.
Yeah.
And I think that played a huge role into us being able to
Communicate with
understand all cultures. Like at one point, I was only bad words because I was in middle school, but I knew like how to say certain words in 7 different languages. You know what I'm saying? Because we're friends, we were kids.
Go ahead and say them. What are they?
I forgot now.
1,
but
2,
I'm
3.
just saying. No, it was we had that common denominator of being kids growing up during this time. It didn't matter if they were Chinese, Bengali, Albanian, Polish, Bosnian, Yemeni. Like it did not matter. We were all there to go to school, have fun, and be ourselves. And I think that played a huge part because we tried great food. We met great people, and we were able to see each other outside of our culture and religion. At the end of the day, it was a good time growing up during that time. I really think that that's like our biggest gift.
It is. It was. It definitely was. Like I remember I went to college and when people introduced themselves, I knew who you were based off your last name.
Right.
Yeah.
And the ski. Like, and that was like icebreakers. Like, how do because they're already looking at you like you're probably from the Middle East somewhere,
Yeah.
And then you hit them with that, and they're like, wow, like this guy, how did you know I was Polish, or how did you know I was this and that, and just simple things, just little things, as a person who's in the realtor business, like that's all it takes is a simple thing for them to like, you may have just earned a client off of one conversation,
Right.
So, and those little things matter, and I think that's what the new generation is forgetting. Because nowadays you see like everybody's very cliquey. I feel like I'm sure you see it more than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hello, you want to grow or do you want to just be in the same circle for the rest of your life?
Right.
Because to me, the best thing you can do is get out of those circles and introduce yourself and be a part of other circles so that you're the one guy who. That's my best advice. Simple advice my uncle told me. He's like, you don't gotta be friends with everybody, but you always should keep a good relationship with anybody.
Right.
Because you never know. That person might be like
to bridge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
might want to buy a $5 million house and they want to hit up Sina to be their realtor.
From your mouth to God's ears, please.
Seek to understand before being understood. Like take that time to really get to know someone.
Oh, we get a lot of teacher quotes from.
Oh, it's the 7 habits. You're gonna hear a lot about that. That's all I've been doing all summer.
Yeah.
Send them to me.
I got you.
So, believe it or not, it's our last question.
Oh.
To anyone watching who's hesitating to put themselves out there because they're not ready yet, what would you say to them? We talked about how this would be a good time to look in the camera. Maybe this would be a great time to look in the camera. So anyone who's hesitating to put themselves out there because they're not ready or they're too shy or they like to stay in their own circle, what would you say to them?
I would say that you're never going to be 100% ready. So start when you are not ready, because progress is more important than perfection. So if you tell yourself, I'm going to do it when I'm ready, you're never going to do it. But when you do it when you're not ready, that's when the success comes. And this is like me being on the show today. This is not my comfort zone. This is totally out of my comfort zone. I love working with people, but I don't love everybody to see me either. I kind of like to be in my shell, right? I'm this bubbly person. I leave the house. I'm like a butterfly, whatever. But when I get home, I just want to get back under my rock.
I believe it.
So what made you do this then? What made you feel comfortable with doing this show and using your time? And we appreciate it, by the way. I'm very happy that you were here.
Thank you.
Just kind of want to hear what your response is to that. Like, what made you feel like this would be a right situation that you feel like?
The topic, for one, being someone who does not really brand themselves other than what you see is what you get. I brand myself with the way I dress when I leave my house. I'm my walking advertisement, but to sit here and say that I'm on billboards or in ads or anything like that, I don't do that. And the comfort that you gave me and the questions that, are being asked, and I like, telling me a little bit about, what the segment would be about, made me feel comfortable. Step out of your comfort zone. You've got to start somewhere. Back to I would have never been ready to do this. So let me do it when I'm not ready.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and give that a round of applause. Yusuf, that's a great response right there, and I kind of set you up on that one too. So I
Thank
like
you.
that as well. Abir, talk to me. You know, what would you say to somebody that's probably watching and they're not ready yet to get out that comfort zone?
Before I answer that question, growth happens when you're uncomfortable,
Absolutely.
and we have to constantly try to grow, right? So, to answer your question, I really believe that first you have to kind of like know your goal, know your end goal, know who you want to be, right? And then work towards that slowly but surely every single day. Sometimes you will need to gain a little bit of confidence before jumping into whatever career that you want. But once you know, like, okay, eventually this is what I want to accomplish. Now, what do you need to do to accomplish that? Start small, you know? So, whatever goal that is, start small, work towards it. And you don't have to wait until you're 100% ready, but proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Mm.
So prepare yourself, work towards it, take classes, ask for help, go to mentors, but eventually you got to take that leap for yourself for sure.
There's a reason why Nike came out their slogan, "Just do it," because you'll never know until you just do it. Plain and simple. So yeah, whenever you're not ready, you'll never be ready. You'll never be 100% ready. That is, I'm sorry. It's good to prevent. I mean, to prepare for any kind of final outcome, but you can only prepare so much. You just have to go out there, put yourself out there, and do it, and believe in yourself. And going back to the original thing about being confident too. Um, you can fake confidence. I know people can read it off of you, but if you do it enough times, people won't know if you're faking it or not. So go out there, be confident, do your thing, and keep that positive energy, that positive attitude, and you won't look at things as a failure if it don't work out your way. You'll just look at it as another lesson and do your best to get better at it next time around. So that's my advice. I will give you a chance to say your final words and final comments, Sina, and let people know how they can even follow you and maybe book you if they're looking for a realtor in the future. Before we do that, I just want to say one more time you can follow us, Oz Media. You can watch this full episode on YouTube or you can listen to it on Apple and Spotify podcasts. You can see clips on our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok pages, all under Oz Media. And if you want to just go on one thing, where all of our social medias and everything is on there, it is our website, www.ozmedia313.com. Shout out to our sponsors: Juice Box, Holy Bowly, Wingfellas, Chill Box, Meleka Kebab, Hanley International Academy, The Family Doc, GE Preparatory Academy, and Royal Kebab. Shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to everyone that's in this room today. We appreciate you guys. Sina, final words, final comments, anything you'd like to add, and please let people know how they can follow you or reach you.
Sure. I just want to end with, although we're telling everybody to follow us and everything, our brand is not built on just our followers. It's built on trust. So, yes, follow me on social media. But just remember, if you're putting your brand out there, it's not about, let me look them up and see how many followers they have. Let me actually build a relationship. Let me talk to this person. Let me give them a chance based on not just their, very boring social media page, because mine is probably super boring. But make a call, right? Talk to the person, ask them a question. You probably learned a lot more about me this time, right?
I did.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Sina. I bet any final words, final comments?
I want to say every expert was once a beginner. And there's someone out there that's probably waiting for what you can offer. I truly believe that everybody has a gift, and it's your job to try to figure out what it is by trying things.
Love it.
What number is that in the 7 things of
That's not part of it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ibid. I'm telling you, she gets the best quotes. She be
She
having the best
does.
quotes for the shows. This was season 5, episode 38 of Oz Media's Motivate Me 313 podcast. Before the commission, the branding blueprint every professional needs to hear. Sina, Abir, Umar, Yusuf, we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you all next time.